You're going to hear an audio tape of Grandma Iole Banker, Grandma Iole Martinat. This is our last Easter together. In 2020, we just took a little road trip, day trip out to Yucaipa, and really didn't get out of the car, just went sightseeing. We went up to Oak Glen, wanted to see the apples up there. Cute little town, but it was just way too foggy. Guess I should have checked the weather report a little better. But the lake was closed that day, Benelli, and I wanted us to do something special, but I didn't know what to do during a pandemic except just drive the car. And I was hoping maybe up in Oak Glen, maybe we'd be above the cloud cover, because it was so cloudy and not so pretty. But it was fun to see the sights. We went through Ontario. Somewhere there was like a shopping mall that had some names of Italian places that her family was from. So, a street named Piemonte, or a street named Torino, or I think Turin, something like that. So she got a kick out of that. We were gonna take a picture, but we didn't. I think once we passed it, we said, well, maybe we'll stop on the way home, and then we passed it again because we didn't. By the time we realized it was time to turn, it was we didn't realize it was there, and I missed the turn. All right, here's the audio tape.
Okay, take a deep breath. Having trouble. Okay, this time we can do it. 3. 1, 2, 3. Silent night. Holy night. Sign of blood. Love pure light. Radiant beams. Streams. Virgin, or whatever it is. Lime, down here. Get it here too. Alright, good. Radiant stream from the holy face. We need half more. It sounds better when you're singing. It's the redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. That's too low.
So this is where we parked when we went to Yucaipa on Easter 2020, mid-April, I think. We parked in front of the statue of this man and a ladder to climb a apple tree and pick apples. I think he's sitting there eating an apple. It's kind of what they're known for. So we had a good little parking spot right there in front of the pretty statue, and then kind of watched some of the cars go by. Where is that? Oh yeah, I think this might be, oh yeah, it is. It's in San Dimas by the lake there. For a while we thought maybe we'd, live by the lake, so we wouldn't have to drive so far. Wasn't so comfortable sometimes. That's my dog, Phantom, and the pool at 45. It's a great picture by this was probably taken in 2019, I think. Okay. And there's that duck she liked, Blondie, at the lake. That was her favorite duck. Had a little tuft of hair on her head, or his head. We figured, we decided finally it was a male duck because it was trying to mate with a female duck. Let's see here. Picture of me at a dog park with the dog. Ah, this lifeguard boat. It came right up in front of where we parked one time, really close. Nice to see it there. Here's me holding a painting that my dad, Eugene Arthur Coates, painted. I think on the building there it says St. Moritz, because he went to St. Moritz in Switzerland. So he painted it. I think he had that painting up in his house at Wrightwood, maybe. This is at 9845 when they put in the new driveway in, oh gosh, I think maybe 2020, tell you the truth. Yeah, I think that was put in either, late 2019, but if I had to guess, I would say 2020. There's the driveway again. Ooh, that's me at Life IVF Center. In 2020, when the pandemic was in full force. This would be the summer of 2020, when I was doing many rounds of IVF. I think probably 5 or 6 rounds during the summer, each month, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Yeah, starting in May, going every month. So I had missing, what you don't see here is I would also wear, just for the picture, I guess I was outside waiting for them to call me back because they had to get the results of the blood test and the ultrasound before they could tell me what medicines I needed to pick up. So I was just waiting out there, and to be more comfortable, I took off several things. So I took off my swim goggles, and then on top of my swim goggles, I had maybe like those other kind of goggles that are more like, they're not so tight fitting like swim goggles. They're like maybe what you would wear if you were in construction or sawing something. I had those, and then I had my N95 mask, and on top of my hairnet I put the hood of my hazmat suit, and I wore at least 2 layers of gloves on my hands, and a face shield over my hood on top of my hairnet. think that's it. See my booties on my feet, and can't remember if there was anything else I wore. Oh, there's another picture. This is the one they took of me at the Life IVF Center. So they took this picture of me. There's my swim goggles I was telling you about, and my 2 layers of gloves. I guess I didn't have the other goggles on top of the swim goggles, the ones you'd wear in maybe if you were doing something with cutting metal or something like that. And that symbol to the right is like a stork carrying a baby. It's kind of their symbol. So this is like their picture of me in their system. So I was 39 there. 39 in a couple months. And there's my dad, Eugene Arthur Coates. Supposedly that picture was taken when he was 19. I'm not exactly sure how I know that or why I would say 19, but maybe somewhere it said that. So Eugene Arthur Coates. I think he got married pretty young, so he was probably just a few years older than this when he got married. Maybe just 1 or 2 years older, possibly. Got married for the first time to Patricia pretty young. Well, this is a great one about how Grandma Iola's parents were married for 50 years, and their story got written up in the newspaper, in the Arcadia Tribune. Cute picture. Ida really sparkled. Look at that smile. Dante and Ida Martinat. I guess when they say Dante Martinats, they mean, you know, both of them. Yeah, I think the president at the time sent them a congratulatory letter for being married 50 years. You see Grandma Iole and Grandpa Bob's children are both listed as doctors. Dr. Iole Banker is a doctor of pharmacy. Dr. John Banker, a doctor of dentistry. Oh yeah, President Nixon sent the congratulatory message. Yeah, 1921, when Dante came to the United States, and Ida too. There's the shape of the lake, where the little dot is where we'd park, or just a tiny bit to the left of that, but that's where we would park, more or less. Okay, back to the audio tape. Well, let me just say here, I took Grandma Iole to right by the San Gabriel Mission on some little street over there. There's restaurants, and we went in the summer a few years back, and had their Chilean sea bass. She liked that, so did I. This restaurant, I found out, was known for that. We ate outside on a nice warm summer evening, and we might have had ice cream after. I think we did, from a nearby, ice cream parlor. And kind of think there was some kind of concert or something, and we could watch a little bit of that, so we had a good time. Nice way to spend a summer evening and eat some protein. Fish that was kind of sometimes hard to get her to eat protein in the later years, so we still on Silent Night?
Night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, Ryan Virgin, mother and child. Holy breath of tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
That picture was taken at Yosemite. My mom, Yolanda Lonnie, loves Yosemite. I really want to take her back there, but she's so paranoid about the virus, even though she has had both shots already, that I don't know when she's going to want to go back. There's my dad, Eugene, Arthur Coates, and if you look at his jacket, you see it has badges from the space programs that he worked on. So space shuttle maybe on the left, and it's hard to tell exactly what the badges are. I know the one on the left says space shuttle. I can read that on there. The one on the right, I don't know. Something red, like maybe Mars, but I don't think they were doing that then. So here he is. I think this is his hammock, maybe? Or no, he might just be laying down somewhere else. I know he had a hammock on his balcony up in Wrightwood. So this was probably taken around 2010 on the Belmont Pier near Sunset Beach, Belmont near Long Beach. And I discovered this pier because it was cement instead of like a boardwalk with boards, because with her walker it was impossible to go on, boards, a pier with boards, but on cement that was perfect. So she could take her walker out and get pretty close up to the waves.
We have to go through the whole thing? 2 or 3? Oh no, honey, come on. Let's get going here now. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, loves your light.
Oh, that's Grandma Iola's black kaolin jacket. So that's the one she wore most often. That's the jacket I remember on her more than any other jacket. It was the perfect weight, you know, not too heavy, and it was relatively easy to put on and take off, except in the later, you know, the last few years when maybe she was a little bigger just in the wheelchair. You know, you got to lean forward and tuck it down in the back and stuff like that. But yeah, she loved that jacket and wore it for, as you can see, at least a decade, and probably more than that, tell you the truth, because that was around 2010, and she kept wearing that pretty much till the end. We didn't wear it quite so much the last year or two because we stayed in the van more in Vinny and Minnie before that. Before that, we went into restaurants more, and she was cold in restaurants, so we had to wear it more then. But in the van, you know, I could just put a blanket on her and pull the blanket up, you know, not just the waist down, but kind of put it right under her armpits. So there wasn't quite so much need for a jacket. I mean, sometimes, but it was almost just easier to put the blanket, a couple blankets sometimes, several heavy blankets, and a scarf. Because then I could take them off easier. You know, even if we were just driving at a stoplight, if she needed a blanket off, I could literally just pull it down. Whereas with the jacket, it would have been more involved of finding a place to park and, you know, turning the car off and taking it off and everything. Ooh, another picture of me. This one's at Life IVF Center in Arcadia, because the main one was in Irvine, but they had a monitoring center, luckily, right here in Arcadia by the hospital. So I was able to go to some appointments right here without having to drive all the way down to Irvine. I definitely had to drive to Irvine. I mean, you know, have people take me for the procedure. You know, you're not allowed to drive after that whole day because they give you anesthetic. But you know, just for a little monitoring, like let's check your blood work, let's check your ultrasounds. They could do that in Arcadia as long as the timing was okay, because it wasn't open on the weekends. So if the doctors determined that, you know, they needed to check me on the weekends, on Saturday or Sunday, you know, they didn't want to just wait and see how things were on Monday. I'd have to go all the way to Irvine just for the just for a little monitoring, just for a little blood test and a relatively quick ultrasound. And this photo was taken at the LA Arboretum, the Arcadia Arboretum, looks like in 2014. So yes, she was still getting her hair done then. This might have been just about the last year that she got her hair done. I think it was in 2014 that she had the blood clot and I took her to Huntington Hospital, and you know, she kind of needed a wheelchair after that if it wasn't at home, you know, out. But boy, she looked good there for being 90. And again here, looking good at the San Antonio Winery. Looks like she's kind of focused on her balance there. I think I was teaching at USC then, but just about ready to quit. You know, maybe just part-time or just substituting. And this is my dad's house in Wrightwood. I see my grandpa Bob, and then my mom Lonnie, and then my dad's mom Elsie, and then me, and then my dad. You can see it's a nice big porch. On Luzon Street, I think. Yeah, this was a couple months before this was September 23rd, 2020. She would die exactly 1 month later, on October 23rd, 2020. The reason we're celebrating with apple cider, sparkling apple cider that looks like champagne is because September 23rd, or I'm sorry, this was the September 21st, this was the 21st, was her, it was her wedding anniversary. So I'd have to calculate it, but I think that was 79 years. Pretty sure. But yeah, she looks a little off there, doesn't she? You know, you notice it more after. When you're looking at the photos, you can really see she looks off. But at the time, I knew she was off. I really did. But I didn't. There's a difference between being, kind of having somebody look a little bit like they're off, not quite their usual self, versus this person's going to be dead in a month, So to me, she definitely didn't look like herself. Something, she wasn't quite right. But I don't know, in my mind, that was not what somebody looks like when they're going to die in a month. So yeah, I learned that lesson. It can look good one day and be dead the next, or be dead a short amount of time after that. That blanket there was her favorite blanket, nice and light, Trojan USC blanket. And we went here for brunch a couple times. They had the DJ and the music, and it was kind of a party feel. She liked that. It was nice to enjoy the entertainment and the good food. And there I am. I think we did this picture already, but maybe it's slightly different. You can see my N95 mask there at Life IVF Center in Irvine for my treatments. 2020. That's why I'm dressed like that, of course. I wanted to protect Grandma Iole from getting COVID, so that's why I went to all extremes. In fact, too extreme, didn't take her to the doctor because I didn't want her to get COVID, wanted to protect her.